Enormous win last night for Coach Prime and company, getting a win in overtime, finding a way to beat your rival. Enormous spot, and that's great. A win is a win. You found a way to win, and that is the ultimate end goal. You don't have to be happy with how it looked, but you're happy you got a win. So now you can start to turn your sights forward. Who you got in front of you? You got to go to Oregon, and you play USC. This will be a great litmus test for this team, be a great litmus test for Coach Prime and where Colorado's at right now. We're about to break it down. Make sure you're subscribed right here. It's college football. It's only college football every single day. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JD Pakel to stay up with every single thing that we're doing right here on this show live 3 times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Get dialed in. We're picking the Colorado-Oregon game this coming Tuesday. Again, 11 a.m. Eastern. Want y'all there. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing. So these are 2 huge games. And at the time of us being recording this, I guess not being live, but recording this, Coach Prime said yesterday in his post-game press conference that they may be without Travis Hunter for a couple of weeks. So we're just going to assume, for the sake of this conversation, they don't have Travis Hunter for Oregon or for USC. Now, they both present different challenges. For Oregon, man, it's still personal. Dan Lanning was talking some bull junk, as Deion Sanders would say, not so much specific to Coach Prime or his team, but more so Colorado historically, and saying what they hadn't done in the Pac-12 conference. So it is what it is. We'll leave that there. The task for Coach Prime heading into this week is getting this team refocused. Enormous spot, right? Boulder was the epicenter of college football this past weekend. Lil Wayne's there. The Rock's there. Big Noon Kickoff is there. Lee Corso in College Game Days there. He's making his 400th headgear pick. Like, it was a movie. It was a movie. It's what it was. And you found a way to win a close game against your rival, even with them talking some smack, some bull junk, if you will. And you found a way to win that game. Incredible emotional high. I'm sure extremely draining. So now you got to pick up the pieces and get ready to go play a really good Oregon team at their place. So that's the first part, getting refocused. I think both Oregon and USC present different challenges, but for Oregon, the big task that I see ahead of Colorado is being able to stop the run. Oregon is going to make it a point to run the football, go with tempo. Bo Nix, a really good quarterback. We'll talk about him more here in just a second, but they're going to make a point to get downhill. And so Bo Nix also being involved in that run game is going to be a piece of this, and being able to also be disciplined on the back end. But that's going to be a very, very big part for Colorado. They did not do a great job these first 2 games, did a better job last night against Colorado State in stopping the run, but that is going to be the piece for them. Also, how do they handle the electric atmosphere? It's on Coach Prime to get this staff and this team ready. And I'm excited to watch it. I think it's going to be a great litmus test, like I said, because they play Oregon and they play USC. Both those teams, the top tier in the Pac-12, right up there with Utah. How does Colorado stack up? We're about to find out. We're about to find out, and I cannot wait. So that's kind of the Oregon game for you, to put a definition on it. Stopping the run, getting this team back to level to be able to compete the level they want to compete at, and then being able to handle the atmosphere that is Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. Now for USC, they play USC at the Crib. They get them in Boulder, Colorado. It's going to be crucial for them to protect Shedeur Sanders in both games, but especially in this game, because the USC defensive line has got Bear Alexander. He's a bad dude, Georgia transfer, done a phenomenal job so far this year, making his presence felt on the schedule that USC has played so far, which admittedly isn't all that intimidating, to be real with you. Going to require a great game plan from Sean Lewis. I'm talking make it a perimeter game. If we want to play in the trenches, it's probably not going to be a game that favors Colorado. Get it out on the edge. Get a Jimmy Horn. Let those receivers work. Let Tavares Dawson get some action out in the slot. Like, make it a game that's played on the perimeter. Make it quick. Tire those big boys out. Make them play at altitude. I think that's the game plan you want to play if you're Colorado against USC. I think both these games could be shootouts, to be real with you. Both these games, you will need to instill poise and confidence, as you already have for Deion Sanders, but instill that into this team to be ready to make a statement to the rest of the country against both these teams. Because there's so much talk about what Colorado's done so far, and a lot of people, and I don't think it's an irresponsible conversation to have, is, hey, that looks great. I love what you've done so far, but I need to see more. And again, I don't think that's something that is making anybody a hater on Coach Prime or talking down on what Colorado's done. Colorado, to win the Pac-12, has to go through Oregon and USC. Those are 2 of the best rosters of the conference. And so with all this talk around belief and non-belief, if you split Oregon and USC. If you just win one of those games, I think the legitimacy of this program goes way up. That's not to say what they haven't done already isn't legit, but I'm saying to be considered a contender in the Pac-12, beating one of these teams, in my opinion, would put you in that conversation very firmly. There's no talk about, well, do you believe, do you not believe? You beat Oregon or USC, you beat both of those teams. It's not a conversation of believing or not believing, because seeing is believing to a degree, and seeing them beat these teams would do that without a shadow of a doubt. Now, here's the curious part of all this. The advantage for Colorado here, I think, outside of the X's and O's, I think they'll be dialed in and they'll find a way to make matchups theirs, even without Travis Hunter. It'll be a tall task, but I think the staff could have a good game plan in place. The key for Colorado here, which is interesting, they get to go back to that underdog spot. They get to go back to that chip on the shoulder, nobody believes in us kind of spot. Because they had against TCU, but then against Nebraska, they were favored. Against Colorado State, 3 touchdown favorites. I don't know what the line is against Oregon. I don't know that they'll be favored. And even if they are, there'll be a lot of people picking against them to win that game. Same thing with USC. Even if they beat Oregon, I think there will be a lot of people still picking USC to win that football game. So now you get to tell your team, hey, I still don't believe in you. Still that chip on your shoulder. And there's going to be a lot of conversation about the other team. And I think that's how Colorado likes it. I think that's how Deion Sanders likes it, because that just gets to fuel his team in those spots. Again, you win one of those games, changes the conversation around belief. Also, think about the proof of concept. You get to take on the recruiting trail. They already have a good bit of that in-house, to be real with you. To start out 3-0 as they have is already some rocket fuel they can go and take on the recruiting trail. But to be able to beat one of those top dogs, more or less, in the Pac-12 with the rosters they have, it would be a very, very dangerous, very dangerous piece for Coach Prime and company to be able to sell on the recruiting trail to different recruits. Hey, you go to USC if you want. You go to Oregon if you want, but just saying, we beat them. Just saying, if you want to go play for them, that's fine, but I hope you saw what we did on national television. That would be a conversation you would love to package up and put before a recruit and tell them to make their decision. You're not trying to recruit anyone on projection at that point. You're saying, this is what we are. You decide for yourself. Men lie, women lie, tape don't lie. So to put it on tape for recruits, be dangerous for the rest of the college football landscape. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed. Again, follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Judy Paquel. Let me know what y'all think about Coach Prime. Tweet at me, DM me, whatever it is. I want to hear from y'all. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.